Alright, welcome to another episode of Menu Heroes Digest. This one took us forever to finally get to because on my way home, my mom's truck got a flat tire, so that took at least an hour. So yeah. I'm your host, Steven. Uh-oh, did we lose him already? Jordan. I swear. My least favorite part about living out in the sticks is terrible internet. Alright. Let's try this again. Alright, can you hear me?
Yep. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I did a whole song and everything, man.
Oh no! You're gonna have to sing it again, I guess.
Okay, so you promise to start over again? Just ignore that?
I guess we can, yeah.
Okay, because it's gonna be super awkward if, if it's just a dead silence and nobody can hear my singing, it's gonna be super awkward.
Well, go ahead and sing your song, because...
Okay.
I'm playing a game in the background, so... It's not like there's just silence there.
I was gonna do a whole thing, getting everybody ready for Halloween, but this August, September, October for my family has sucked. Okay? It has completely gotten us out of the mood for Halloween. And I love Halloween. You know me, Steven. You know how obsessed I am of this stuff.
Yes.
But it's like, we have gotten sick, we've gotten broke, we've gotten medical bills, we've lost a close friend of the family, I don't mean for this episode to get dark, but we've lost people along the way, man, and it just sucks the soul out of you, all the hope you had for a good, holiday time, and man, I'd say I'd want the year to be over, but I don't even want to imagine how worse it can get, and it'll get worse.
Yeah.
Ugh. Tell you what, I'll sing the song at the end of the video, okay? Just to...
Okay. Did you want me to take that part out, or did you want that to be in the video? It's up to you.
Do you want my long rant about how I went through some of the worst 3 months of my life? Because we can keep that in.
We can keep that. It's up to you.
Okay.
I don't mind, but, if you, for some reason, don't want, that to be exposed to the internet, that is up to you.
No, go right ahead. Just, guys, the time between last episode and this episode, a lot happened. And most of it was not good. I'll just say it right now. So, doing Menu Heroes and getting to talk about these subjects coming up right now is what's keeping me in the Halloween spirit.
Well,
and watching some scary movies.
Well, I'm glad, that I can help a little bit. Not to detract from your problems, but 2021's not been too fantastic for us either. Mama got diagnosed with alpha-gal earlier this year, meaning she can't eat any mammalian products, which is basically everything.
Oh,
she's had to go. She's had to go vegan, basically. So,
I am so sorry, dude.
While there is no, specific cure, there is a possibility that acupuncture can help her. So she started a GoFundMe, and she raised $200 out of the $600 she needed. So I got my financial aid refund, and I paid the rest. And so hopefully that'll help her.
Yeah, man. All we got is hope.
Anyway,
We got is hope.
So let's just jump right in. Speaking of hope,
Yes, please.
those of you who were hoping to get the Pokemon Sword and Shield Shiny, Zamazacian and Zenta, oh my god, I can't even say the names. Those Pokemon,
The good boys.
yes, the good boys. Your local GameStop might have told you that you had to buy a certain amount of Pokemon product to receive these codes. This is not true. And the fact that you're being told this is very disappointing.
Attention, bikini bottomers. You have been cheated and lied to. That was a SpongeBob reference.
Oh, I figured, but I just couldn't. I couldn't remember what it was from, or what SpongeBob episode it was from, because I haven't watched SpongeBob since I was a kid.
Squidward on strike. It's Squidward on strike. We're going on a strike.
So is that the episode where they say that whole Krusty Krab is the oppression?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And some great remixes were made with that statement. And very relevant to today's current climate.
Yeah. But yeah,
and SpongeBob, that's one of the few things that has aged very well.
So we talked about the shiny. What was the next thing on our list? I have the memory of a goldfish. Oh,
well, I mean,
yeah,
we were gonna. Did you want to talk a little bit? I know we got a lot on our plate today, but do you want to at least talk a little bit about some of the people, like, or at least like some things about this story? At least like some people from like SarahB.net, like warning everybody the false claims and like don't buy them and everything.
Oh well, I mean, we basically did. Them telling you that you had to buy stuff is not true, and oh my god, I thought a bug crawled on my screen and I was about to freak out. Anyway, yeah, the codes are free, and free means you do not have to spend money. On the Pokemon website, it literally says, Pokemon website says no purchase required.
Yes.
So
once again, thank you again, SarahB.net. Not only have you been helpful for reminding me of some of the details of Pokemon, but you are here to help Pokemon fans not waste their money on stuff. Thank you.
Yes. Looking out for the common person.
Right on. Right on.
Alright, so, you wouldn't know this because, you don't see my TV. But, I'm playing Super Mario 64 in the background while we're recording this. And that's...
Oh, really?
Very fitting for our next story. Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack.
Yeah, man. This one caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, whenever any company tries to take their old game and transfer them over to a newer console, there is bound to be some issues here and there, whether the game doesn't play as well as it did before, or there might be unintended glitch from transferring stuff to one another. It does happen, but
yeah, I mean, emulation.
It's surprising when it cut.
Emulation's not going to be a perfect process all the time. I mean, like the PlayStation 2, we don't even really have good emulation for that. Sony can't even, do it themselves because the infrastructure is just infrastructure? Yeah. The architecture is just, complicated. Okay, and the N64 is something that's been hard for, fans to get good emulators of. But Nintendo did a pretty good job when it came to the Wii and Virtual Console. The N64 emulator used for that is pretty spot on. which is why it comes as a surprise that the Switch emulator, or Switch N64 emulated games, are not doing so hot, to say the least.
That is a big bummer, man. And it's just always weird when you're used to Nintendo having great polish, making sure everything flows nicely, everything runs smoothly, to make sure like you can get immersed in the games and nothing like takes you out of it. Not to say there won't be any bugs or glitches, but like it's very rare when you do find them, and to make such a basically a blunder like this, where the Switch controllers are causing the games to flare up and like get these like these like warnings saying the N64 controller pack is not detected. You're using a ghost data. You got to insert the proper N64 controller pack in order to work. And
so that one's not too surprising because there's not really an easy way to emulate the controller pack without using external software. But it's more the fact that there's really bad input lag, which it's important for when you're playing a game that when you press a button, it does what it does.
Yep.
And another issue people keep pointing out is in Ocarina of Time, there's a whole section where the floor is supposed to be mirrored, and it's actually built into the battle mechanics for that battle, and it's just not there. It looks worse on the Switch in some places than it does on the original.
Yeah, that is going to entirely mess up your game. It's going to mess up what the entire intended level was meant for. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. But, I mean, you got to imagine Nintendo would have, like, test players and, like, people testing out these things before they are ready to be released.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that they didn't see any of this, or they saw this and thought it wasn't that big of a deal, or didn't have enough time to fix it, like, what? I'm just understanding, like, how this could have, like, gone through the cracks, or how...
How did this happen?
Like, yeah.
It's...
Pretty much.
The best explanation I can think of is it was rushed. Because Super Mario 64, the version I'm playing right now, which comes on 3D All-Stars, it's emulated. Is played on an emulator. And it has no issues running. But the same game on the Switch Online has, slight input lag and a few other issues. So it's crazy. Plus, it's just too expensive. Yeah. I can't justify an extra $50 or $45.
No, man, I understand. Again, you know me, my situation, I can't really do any of that stuff because, I just got back to work.
Yeah.
Trying to build my money, and unfortunately, like, so many games I wanted to grab, or I was hoping to, like, save up money on and get them, that has gone on the wayside, and...
Oh, yeah, I did pick up Metroid Dread for you today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I know your birthday's coming up in a couple months. Do let me know what you want or anything that you were looking at, and I'll get that for you, okay?
Don't worry about it. We'll try to hang out for my birthday. That's about the most I want. Just because I know money is going to be tight for you. Because you've got medical bills. And, America.
Yeah. Land of the free and land of the unbearable debt.
But socialism.
And?
Yeah, and just basically. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about some sweet villagers.
Yes, and funny enough, right before the episode was about to start, or like about an hour as we were going to start it, I finally got in the mail my Animal Crossing villager card set. You know, the amiibo card set that I didn't tell you, but I did end up ordering some on Amazon, and a lot of cool characters came in this roster. Like the one I really want, Lucky, like that one was on here, and
okay,
just now added him to the game.
Are these the official ones, or are these like fan-made ones?
These are official. Like
nice.
yeah, oh yeah, and like you put them into the ran like the amiibo reader, or like the one
yeah, I know
control
what you
stick that you put it on top. Yeah. So
you scan it.
Did that. Yes, did that. Got lucky. Cute little good boy and advantages. So looking forward to. Like, I'm hoping to do what I can to make him an official part of the of my village.
Yeah.
But enough about that. We got some other villagers that are coming up very soon. So
yeah,
we'll go more into that.
We heard about them and I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you. We heard about them with the Animal Crossing Direct, and Pocket Camp, which is the mobile game, actually gave us some information. So,
all right.
First up, we got Sasha, who I thought was a girl.
I think I did too. I think I made that mistake as well.
But he is a very effeminate bunny, and I'm sure that makes a lot of people happy. I know it makes some people feel seen. Yes,
by all means, several people of different genders. They don't have to like conform to any particular type of look or style, and this offers that hey, we can do way more with all kinds of characters and be more open to designs.
We've got Shino or Shino. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
I'm going to guess Shino. I'm going to guess that. But anyway, I'm loving her design.
Oh yeah.
And
I just realized her birthday is Halloween.
Yes. Which would have been the perfect time to like have her available, but again, you got to get the next set of cards, or they're coming up soon.
And then we've got Eon.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna guess Eon simply because like they do usually like you can clearly see when usually if it's an uppercase L, it's easy to see.
Yeah.
If it's uppercase I, that one. If it's usually at the very beginning of a word or a sentence.
Yeah, they're not gonna just like use a lowercase L at the beginning of the name.
Yeah, this.
Her birthday is
this
9/11. That's fun.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that supposed to be Neil Armstrong's birthday? And for a while, that was the thing that was like what that day meant for. But unfortunately, like one of the worst tragedies to happen to the United States happened on that date. So that's the thing everybody focuses on. I could be wrong, but I do feel like it was like one astronaut's either birthday or some kind of accomplishment they did was on 9/11, and that's what that date was known for until,
Well, there's been worse tragedies in the U.S. than just 9/11, but...
I said one of. I made that very clear. One of the worst tragedies.
But I digress. Anyway, we've got Petrie,
Yeah, Petrie! I actually like this design. I think we said this last time. I think this is one of the best mouse character villager designs because I was not that impressed with any of the other mouse villagers, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you like some of them, but this one to me is the best design.
Yeah, I like how her ears are like 3D glasses.
I know, right?
Then we've got Quinn, who has a super cool style.
Is that okay? I am curious. Is that her hair, or is that her like some kind of like a band or something on her head?
I haven't figured
I'm just
it out
like want to make sure.
myself.
Yeah, looks cool though.
It does. We've got Cephalobot, who can shoot.
Cephalobot. I'm guessing that's the name.
Yeah. He is a robot. We've got
Cephalobot alive.
We've got Marlowe, who I think I called him a hipster or something. He's actually supposed
either
to
a
be
hipster or a beatnik is what
a
I think you
beatnik.
said
Yeah,
last time.
beatnik's what I said.
Okay.
And apparently, he's actually supposed to be based off of a mob boss.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Like Marlowe, I can imagine that being like a mixture of Marlon Brando. Yeah, I could see that.
And his name in another language is Dawn.
I like that name. I don't know why they changed it.
I don't know. They'll use different names. It's weird. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it makes zero sense. We've got Tianshin. I have no idea how to say his name.
I'm going to guess Tiansheng is what I'm gonna guess. I'd say majority of the design I like, but there's something about the eyes, the orange with like red highlight eyes. I don't know. That's kind of creepy to me.
Uh-huh.
And it would be very fitting for Halloween coming up, but I don't think that's what they're going for this design.
Yeah, he's a monkey. I don't usually like the monkeys a whole lot. And that's actually the end of the list.
All right, that was fun.
All right, so next big thing is... Oh, I just got hit.
You got whacked, Steven? Oh my god, they hit you, man. Oh, those Los Santos punks, man. They went too far this time. We gotta hit back harder.
When is it?
They put one of us in the hospital. We put one of theirs in the morgue.
All right, so November 11th is the release of at least on Nintendo's eShop, of Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the definitive edition.
The Trilogy. Yes, the Trilogy.
It is Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and what was the other one?
San Andreas.
San Andreas. And they've been remastered to be more like Grand Theft Auto 5, which I could never really get into Grand Theft Auto 5. I tried. I really did. But I'll give this a try. I'm willing to give it another try. I personally preferred Saints Row. Anyway, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, it's like me and my cousins used to play Vice City all the time. We were so into that game. I think we played some of San Andreas. I'm pretty sure, or maybe we tried a demo of it and everything. I'm sure it was fun, and by all means, that is still one of the most popular of the Grand Theft Auto games.
Yes.
Fortunately, like, never got a chance to like check out 3. I don't think anybody even remembers 1 and 2. because like I've never seen a remake or any kind of new additions to either of those original games. And
I don't actually know if you knew this, but the original Grand Theft Auto games, were actually top-down style.
Okay. Now I see why they probably aren't that well remembered.
3 is actually, I think it was 3 at least. It was around 3 that they actually started open world, third person 3D gaming. Wow, that was a sentence.
No, I get you.
But yeah, that's why you haven't seen remakes of it. It's interesting because there's actually Grand Theft Auto games on the Game Boy Color.
That is weird. Just hearing that out loud, like you're so used to this being a very violent and just very mature, gritty game. Well, maybe not always gritty, but definitely like
mature things.
You know, definitely like any sort of crime, mafia, gangster story you've ever seen, all rolled up into one like open world series.
And you know, it's funny that you mentioned that because Resident Evil, for a while there, actually Nintendo had exclusive rights to their releases. So like they'd be released on Nintendo consoles first.
I do remember that. I remember it was like that Resident Evil 4 was available only for the GameCube for a while. And certainly there were some fans that were upset about that because, like, you know, again, today people love the GameCube. Back then, not so much. That was purely PlayStation 2 and Xbox were the two big consoles that everybody wanted. But like, you know, Nintendo could always rely on Resident Evil to like hook in like some of those other things out there. And not to say there weren't Nintendo games that were not popular or didn't like sell well, but just like
these would bring in more mature.
And again, it's always funny to remember. Like, it's how soon we forget. Like not everybody was into GameCube. That it was not always the most beloved console of all time.
I mean, I still think people prefer PlayStation 2 over GameCube, but GameCube had some fantastic gems on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, it's only because of kids that grew up with GameCube they come around and say that console was amazing. So many great games are on there, and y'all need to recognize that. And again, a majority of people would have just glowing reviews of the GameCube. Yeah. Obviously, PlayStation 2 as well, but it's like it's completely gone full circle, or like it's gone a full 180, I should say, of people's opinions on the Xbox. Because
on the Xbox or the GameCube?
Most people, well, I mean Xbox, because like that was hugely hyped and so beloved, and like that was like that and PS2 were the two that people really wanted, and it's like nobody really talks much about the Xbox, the OG Xbox stuff.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much as GameCube or PS2 stuff.
Honestly, it's because the original Xbox just, besides Halo, it wasn't very memorable. I do think I always remember...
I think there were some hidden gems, but like, unfortunately, you had to really dig deep around. And even then, I can't remember if there were some of those were also available on the PS2, like Beyond Good and Evil and Primal. Like those are some like cult following games that I like, and you will certainly the people that love it will let you know how much they love that. But that is That's it. You know, there's not a huge group of people that know about those games, unfortunately.
I do remember that there was an official Mountain Dew promotion for the OG Xbox, where it was Mountain Dew Green. There's also a prototype that is literally shaped like an X. Before they were like, oh no, this isn't manufacturing. We can't do this. It's too expensive.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, Mountain Dew has always been green, right? For a second, I thought like, was there a color besides green was Mountain Dew another color besides green at some point? I mean, obviously there's other flavors besides the regular green, but I'm like,
no, it's always been green.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not forgetting some other color before the green Mountain Dew, right?
No.
There wasn't like Mountain Dew, like there was like originally it wasn't black or pink or something, right? Like,
I mean, it probably was originally like clear or something, because it was originally designed, created as a mixer for alcohol.
Right. Yeah.
But then it was popularized as a soda, and they probably made it green so that it'll people would be like, oh, that'll give you energy.
That makes sense. Okay, all right. I'll allow that.
What were we even talking about? Oh yeah, GTA.
Correct. Oh wow. That tells you how much we care about this franchise. Like, no, I do like Vice City and San Andreas. You know, I had fun with it, and certainly a lot of people love that game. But see the trailer, it looks fine. Yeah, it looks fine. A bit more of a cartoony style to it than I thought they would go for, but maybe it's for the best. Maybe you don't want to make this franchise super detailed and realistic,
And so, talking about somewhat questionable choices, they removed the Confederate flag from the game. Now, obviously, we at Menu Heroes detest the Confederate flag. It is a symbol of racism and hatred. You can say it's a symbol
of
your culture.
We won the war! Suck it, Confederates.
Well, I mean, like, people will be like, it's my heritage. And it's like, okay, your heritage was built on the backs of slaves. And it's like, sorry, but the
and
South...
your heritage got your butt whooped. Oh!
The whole point of the Civil War was because we couldn't agree on whether slavery was good or bad. And...
But no, Steven, it was actually about taxes and about, like, residential reform and all that and other shit that, like... sorry. Other things that members of my family have tried to explain, like, why the Confederate flag is not all that bad. Spoiler alert, it is.
It is. Anyway, it's funny that they removed it. Because, from any other game, it'd be like, yeah, it makes sense they removed it. But this is GTA we're talking about. And the fact that they removed something like that is ironic to me. I mean, good for them for, getting rid of it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, glorified any more than it already is. I just think it's really funny. And somebody made a great point that it's possible that they removed it because some streaming sites, Twitch, have banned the inclusion of the Confederate flag in videos.
I would not be sure that was the main reason, but also, like, it's mainly the Confederate flag is on the T-shirt of a recurring character, but on just, like, one character. I had the name right here. Yeah, Phil Cassidy is, like, the character. He appears in multiple different Grand Theft Auto games. But yeah, like, that's one of the things that he does have, like, some kind of Confederate thing on his shirt. But ultimately, you can easily, as they shown, you can easily swap that out with the skull and crossbones or whatever, and you get the exact same result. It doesn't really change much about his character. It doesn't really change much but the story, that's an easy thing
I mean,
they could have
unless
changed.
he's like, some redneck racist. Confederate flag doesn't really, have much bearing on his personality. Yeah, we love controversy here.
I mean, I don't want me to profile anybody, but he's got a mullet, so he has a blonde mullet.
His last name is Cassidy.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that name I just associate with, rednecks.
I mean, this character is known for like selling guns and everything, so he was probably already not a good guy anyway. So
well, no, just because you sell guns doesn't make you a bad guy. But I think he sells guns to criminals, so that makes him not a good guy.
Yeah, let me clarify. Selling guns is not okay.
Guns don't kill.
Guns, you're automatically bad.
Guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin kills people. Oh my god! Did you see that?
I have
Trump Jr. in his infinite wisdom created a shirt.
Never in my okay.
He created a shirt that said, "Guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin does." Because you know what Alec Baldwin did, right?
I am fully aware of what Alec Baldwin did. He did it for like 3.5 years, I think, after he got tired of it, of like impersonating Trump, on SNL.
No. You don't know that Alec Baldwin killed someone?
Well, okay. Well, yes, I know that part. I thought you were talking about the reason why Don Jr. went after him.
No.
And why,
Donald Jr.
I know what happened about Rust. I am aware of the set. I actually just watched a video about like the various like health hazard conditions that were going on that set, how cast and crew were playing around with guns with live ammunitions in between breaks and everything because they were bored, and so it was so easy. It's so odd to me. It's like a no-brainer how easy it was for them to switch live ammunition from the guns that supposed to have blanks to the ones that had real live ammunition. It's like, you know what? It's like, obviously Alec Baldwin, he's very torn about the whole thing. I would too if I was responsible for a person's death and everything.
I don't believe
but like he's not the guy responsible for it. He's not the one who actively chose to put that bullet in there, and like because again he's an actor. Well, he trusts his crew, his cast, his directors to make sure the set is safe and everybody's okay and everybody can do their roles and be able to like perform in a scene without anyone getting hurt.
I didn't mean.
And the people behind the live in charge of ammunition, in charge of gun safety, failed. That crew, that team failed.
Okay, well,
I don't remember the exact name of who was in charge of that, but
I did not mean.
I actually saw a video about that, and
I didn't mean for this to become.
Yeah, I know you didn't mean to,
thing.
Steven, but like this has became a whole thing. We just want to talk about video games. We just want to play video games, but man, a lot of stuff in the real world keeps creeping in on me and you, and
it's just,
we're gonna get a lot of positive comments, man. We're gonna get a lot of fun comments.
It's just, the people in charge of hiring the people in charge of the ammunition can also legally be held responsible. And the people who did that are the producers. And Alec Baldwin is the main producer.
Yeah, it's like...
I mean, I do not believe that he went with malice intent to shoot someone. I believe he honestly believed that there were blanks in this. So I don't think that if he gets convicted for anything, I don't think he's going to get convicted because, he's a freaking actor and nobody wants to convict actors. But I think if he gets charged with anything, it'll be involuntary manslaughter or negligence. Because
I'm gonna try and
because employers can be held liable for actions of employees if the employee was acting in, acting on behalf of the employer. It's complicated. And I'm not a lawyer.
No, well, I think the whole situation is complicated. I do believe that, this situation isn't just purely, aha, this person was the mastermind, this person did all of this, book him, get him. This is a very complicated matter that is the result of, poor management and just a testament of, the overall working conditions of movie sets and how poorly regulated things are, and why there was almost this one movie group or cast and crew group IATSE that's all about protecting it's basically a union for crew members for films. They almost went on strike and was about to cause a bunch of film production to shut down because things were not going too great. They were forcing people to work 12 hours a day. They were forcing all kinds of pay cuts and everything, and not guaranteeing insurance and everything. So, and this situation helps prove how a poorly a team not being well kept or not being treated well, how badly things can go when you constantly cut corners. You get stuff like this. You get tragedies like this. And a person's life has ended because of this when it shouldn't have.
So anyway, GTA is great because it gets us on tangents like this.
You know, right?
It's amazing.
We have
how far the conversation gets just because of GTA. And I just
how did we even get from the Alec Baldwin Rust thing from just, hey, a character from GTA had a Confederate flag on his shirt? How did we even get there? I don't remember how.
I remember how. Because we were talking about how he sells guns, and I was joking. I said, guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin kills people because Trump Jr. made that t-shirt and sold it because he is a tasteless person.
He's...
Anyway, before you get into a tangent on that, because we both hate Trump, and I know how this is going to go. So, we will move on to something more positive. Warner Brothers.
May I say one more thing? One more thing before we end this. Just one more thing.
Okay.
So what I was trying to say before you made that Trump Jr. joke, I was going to say, I do not think people who just sell guns are automatically bad. I think there are gunmongers, warmongers who sell guns to perpetually start violence and war and profit off that, and gain money from that. Those are true scum, and they are not just in our country; they're in all around the world.
Yeah.
And screw them.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, they are
nice
they
catch.
are some of the worst people out there. They're some of the worst people out there, and I will move on from that. Okay.
They're right up there with Pokemon card scalpers. I'm kidding, by the way. There's obviously a big difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd be surprised how many people you can kill with Pokemon cards, I won't say how,
you'd be surprised how many people get killed over freaking baseball cards. But that's not why we're here. We are here to talk about the memes that are with Warner Brothers' supposed new Smash Brothers clone.
We'll see if Shaggy from Scooby-Doo is able to kill Rick Sanchez. All right.
Oh, God. It sounds like a freaking nightmare, man. So, basically, if you haven't heard, it's called... What is it called? I forgot already.
Warner Brothers Multiverses.
Multiverses, yes. And if this is real, this is the supposed list. Are you ready for this? Batman, Bugs Bunny, Finn from Adventure Time, Jake from Adventure Time, Gandalf, Harley Quinn, Rick Sanchez, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Steven Universe, Superman, Tom and Jerry, and Wonder Woman.
And no Johnny Bravo, total bunk. I'm already calling baloney on this. No Samurai Jack. You gonna do a Smash clone without Samurai Jack? What
Man,
are you doing,
this just
WB?
this just sounds like a bad dream.
You know what would make this? Hey, Warner Brothers owns Nightmare on Elm Street. They could add a Freddy Krueger if they wanted to.
Warner Brothers also, owns Mortal Kombat, but this game is not being developed by the same people who do Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
I know that was part of the rumors. That one I always doubted because NetherRealm, they did DC versus Mortal Kombat, and I'm sure they've done some other games besides the Mortal Kombat stuff. But I think they want to keep to more mature stuff. I think they don't want to veer too much into cartoony areas. I don't think it's really in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's why, while this is just a rumor, I do believe they're not involved. That said, it's still really weird. Because Rick Sanchez is not a character you expect in a game that's geared towards kids, but at the same time, he showed up in Space Jam, so...
Yeah. He showed up in Space Jam, Pennywise showed up in Space Jam, those dudes in white suits from A Clockwork Orange were just there at the basketball court, just cheering on either just the basketball teams. It was so weird, Steven. It was so... I saw that movie in theaters, and I didn't hate it, but it was still a weird, surreal trip, man.
I never liked the original Space Jam. So...
I mean, I did, but I recognize that it has not aged well. I can look back at Space Jam, and while it is an important place in my childhood, I acknowledge it was not that good.
I wouldn't even say it hasn't aged well. I'd say it was never well. No, I just never liked it. It wasn't my thing. The closest I've gotten to liking something that's, live action and cartoon mixed together is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Well, that's the best one though. So yeah, if that one doesn't work, then none of them they're gonna work.
And there was some other cartoon or some TV show that I'd watch. It was on Cartoon Network. It was about this kid who went to an amusement park. It was clearly based off of Disney, and he gets hit by a ride there, and so they're like, oh no, he needs a brain transplant, and so. They take the, creator of all these cartoon characters in the amusement park, they take his frozen brain and transplant it into this kid's head so that he won't sue them. And suddenly...
I remember...
this kid can see all the cartoons.
I remember commercials for that, but I cannot think of the name to save my life. It was right before Cartoon Network was doing CN Real.
Oh my god!
And they were trying to do live action. That was the show right before all those other Destroy, Build, Destroy, what would happen.
I forgot about those.
Before that, they tried that. They were trying to experiment with, can we get away with having live action shows on our show on our network about cartoons? Boy, did that flop so hard. I am just thankful it just never catched on because it's Cartoon Network. You've got to have something cartoon related on your cartoon-based network.
Yeah, that was a weird period of time. I remember when they were doing their Ghost Hunter series, but it was obviously fake. I mean, all Ghost Hunter series are obviously fake.
I know, dude, but that was everywhere in 2009. Every network had a ghost hunting show in 2009. The Food Network had a ghost hunting show. Animal Planet had ghost pets. History Channel, they were all about the ghosts. They all
now they're just aliens.
Their whole thing. Yeah. Or they'll soon be ghost aliens. That was it was first ghosts, then ghost aliens, then just aliens. That's how it went. Oh.
Where's the last coin? I'm playing Super Mario 64, right? And
Okay, I was.
I'm trying to collect all 8 red coins in Bowser's Dark World, and I can't find the 8th coin. If I die,
I'd love to help you, Steven, but
if I die before I get it, I will cry.
If you die in the game, you die for real, Steven!
Oh my god. Anyway, distractions aside, Warner Brothers game
so easily.
So weird. All right, so now we're finally moving on to Jordan's segments.
Okay, but
what did you have to say?
I was gonna say, like, in general, Warner Brothers themselves is having a weird time where they both want to get kid audiences and adult audiences at the exact same time for whatever thing they're making, because DC fandom was not too long ago, and there was a couple of game announcements for that, so it is somewhat related to games. It is tangent, but it was weird seeing that 3 hours and 45-minute thing, and I felt like I wasted 3 hours of my life watching that whole thing. I watched the whole thing, Steven, and oh wow, was it
that bad?
They spent 15 minutes on. We got this new line of Superman hats.
Oh, what?
They spent 15 minutes
on Superman
about,
hats.
Hey, we got this. Yeah, on hey, we got this big brand Mesa. They're making Superman hats. They got all these stylish hats, and it's gonna have the Superman logo inside the hat. Oh man, you gotta get this, DC fans. If you love DC and you love Superman, you gotta get these hats. And we gotta talk about how awesome and amazing these hats are for 15 minutes.
Dang.
That was the absolute worst part. But the part that I keep remembering is how there was a segment where James Gunn was talking about the Peacemaker show on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much character Peacemaker from the Suicide Squad movie. I think the show looks interesting, but they are swearing like sailors behind the scenes, and during interviews, the cast and crew are dropping F-bombs and S-bombs all across. They are holding nothing back when they're just talking about what's going on, and they're all doing it jokingly, and they're all in a good mood. No one's angry or anything, but it's just they're swearing nonchalantly. Yet the very next thing after that Peacemaker behind the scenes demo reel thing was about Supergirl and how the cast and crew were so delighted by all the fans and all the little girls that loved the show and were inspired by that. And I'm just thinking this is just a weird tangent to go from, talking about an R-rated show where the cast and crew are swearing like sailors, and then immediately go to the kid-friendly, live-action, inspirational show for young audiences. Who is mediating this? Who is moderating this? And who structured this whole show? Because it kept flipping back and forth from, we're talking about this dark, gritty, serious, animated movie based on a popular video game series, which I'm talking about Injustice, by the way. Uh-huh. They went from talking about the Injustice animated movie to, here's a new toy line for all the kids out there. There's new bat cars. All you kids are gonna love these new bat cars. All the various bat-themed cars are available. And I'm just what? Who thought this was okay? Who thought this was a good idea to go from R-rated animated movie to little kid toy cars? This makes no sense.
It's crazy.
Oh man, it's just. Anyway, we are finally moving on, folks. We are finally moving on to other things. Wow, we will get some.
All right, are you still there? Did it disconnect? It disconnected. All right.
You.
Yeah, it disconnected, but we're back.
Okay, great. So anyway, finally moving on to the things. Just this Wednesday, there was Sony's October State of Play, displaying what they're having available for PS4 and PS5. Nothing real huge. A bunch of like smaller trailers for upcoming games. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the entire stream, and even on the website Kotaku, there was some kind of issue with some of the trailers. Some I could just like go back to on YouTube and watch them, but some of them aren't even working as of right now. So when you were telling me, Steven, about how you were having car trouble and were taking time to get home, I was kind of relieved because I was trying to watch all these trailers, but unfortunately, all I got to was the King of Fighters trailer. Like I've seen some of these other trailers, Deathverse right here. This like this multiplayer melee combat thing. I'll go into order. Like okay, so I've seen that trailer for that. Trailer for We Are OFK, and the Bug Snacks updates. The Five Nights at Freddy's Secret Breach thing.
Security breach.
Death Store. Oh yeah, Security Breach. What did I say?
Secret. Same thing.
Okay. Security Breach, and the one that I'm looking forward to the most is Death Store. So if you want, I'll just go ahead and just briefly talk about each game that each trailer I saw, and I'll give it my brief thoughts on it. And
right.
By all means, you can always jump in and let me know your thoughts on these. We'll start with, of course, Death First. As I said, it's the multiplayer melee combat, battle royale-esque game. Some of the design-wise I do like for this game, and it's really going for a steampunk, sort of fantasy Victorian-esque vibe to it, and clearly clearly like shows like Squid Game, and of course, like Battle Royale, Danganronpa, Hunger Games. Like everybody's always into the game of death, only one survivor kind of theme to it. And this one doesn't look too bad. It's just that I will say some designs are a bit uncanny valley for me, especially like the host of the game, the big round dude. His face is too detailed, man. It's too detailed. And seeing some of the other designs for some of these playable characters, like they got enough detail, but they're also got some style to them, to where you can kind of not take this too seriously. But it's just some of the other, like some of the cutscenes, or like some of the others, like supporting characters are extremely detailed, and it kind of throws me off. So maybe there'll be a bit more patchwork, or maybe like they'll find a happy medium for the style and everything. But as of right now, it just looks okay to me. It looks fine. Just the designs are between okay to just weirding me out. That's all I really got to say about Deathverse. Deathverse. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I do have to be honest. I didn't get a chance to watch any of these because I got busy with school and with procrastinating.
Right, so I'm on my own then. Okay. Well, this next one, We Are OFK. I think the art style is beautiful, and I think this would make a very good like animated series. But the way they describe the game itself is like it's based on a real live indie band in LA called OFK, and this video game is basically an interactive music video where like you'll have dialogue. It'll basically be similar to like a lot of visual novels, which I do like visual novels. But it's gonna have mostly that, and apparently there's gonna be ways you can alter or edit the music videos or change them. It's gonna be episodic, so it's gonna be like 5 parts to this thing. I looked at like on the YouTube page, like it got a lot of like thumbs down. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, like I thought it was interesting and okay. I figured it not be for everybody, but I don't know why there was such a negative response to this. One. To me, it looks fine. It could. I mean, my one thought process was that one character in the trailer was wearing a black Trans Lives Matter shirt. That might be why there's a bit of a backlash, but I cannot speak for exactly why. But as for the trailer itself and for the overall look of it, it looks pretty good. Not sure how exactly the gameplay is going to be, but I'd say I'll keep my eye on it. I'm interested in it. And also next up is the update for the very weird yet sort of forgotten game Bugsnax. Remember Bugsnax? How there were some shows for that, and that was like getting some attention. Some positive, some negative.
Bugsnax sounds familiar, but I remember nothing about it. I just remember it sounds vaguely familiar.
It was like they were basically Pokemon, but they're all made of food. Like you had this like little beetle thing that was like made of strawberries, and like it's a berry, strawberry, berry, and there's like these like walrus people that were eating them, and they got like strawberry limbs and everything.
What?
And the trailers, yeah, dude, look at that original trailer, and yes, when it first came out, there were certainly people saying, "What is this? How did God allow this to exist?" Was kind of the reaction at first. I thought it looked weird and fun. And there certainly were some channels that like were developed to like figure out the mysteries of Bugsnax, because it's one of those like there's some dark hidden meaning behind, or the secret of the world of Bugsnax or whatever. And I figured that itself would have caused more people to like get interested in this game. But yeah, there was not much fanfare after its launch. But anyway, there is again, the new trailer shows there's a brand new free, DLC available called the Isle of Big Snacks. You got the big giant Bugsnax running around, everything, and they also have googly eyes. I'm just looking at all these designs. They all have googly eyes, and come on, that's gotta put a smile on your face, man. That's just so silly. I love it.
That sucks.
All right, well, if you don't like googly eyes,
No,
fine.
I mean, I don't like googly eyes. I don't know why. I just don't like them.
All right, fine. More googly eyes for me.
More googly eyes for you.
Yeah, I just put that all over my body. Be like Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho, but all googly eyes. But anyway, next up is a franchise that I was really big into when it first came out, but kind of fell off of. I was into Five Nights at Freddy's, or I was interested in the. Yes, I was. Yes.
It's okay. Xander used to be obsessed with it to the point where Mama started buying him books so that he'd, want to read. And she actually started reading some of the books so that she could talk to him about it. She was like, these are actually, pretty interesting.
Well, I think there is an interesting lore to the whole Five Nights at Freddy's like mythos and everything. I think the creator of it did put a lot of thought into this world he created.
Yeah.
But it was like after the fourth Five Nights at Freddy's game, I kind of lost interest. Like I felt like the story was kind of complete with part 4, and it's like I've heard rumors that like some things were canceled, some things weren't, and by all means, if you're still on board with it, fine. But even look at this trailer right here. There's something about that definitely better graphics, yes. And I think there's some interesting ideas to this game, Security Breach, but I think it's enough for me to get personally back into this franchise. I don't know.
I got over the whole animatronics are scary. Ooh, scared. Like, forever ago. Oh no, I died.
I think this franchise is. I think how these characters are designed and how the animatronics are designed, I think they still hold some scare factors to them. Like, again, I'm blanking on the name of the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, but like he used to make Scott.
Scott.
Okay.
I remember it's Scott.
Yeah. Scott. Okay, so Scott, he is good at creating some crazy, scary monster designs in 3D models. He's really good at that because he made both a movie and a video game based on Pilgrim's Journey or whatever, that that old Christian story about a guy traveling across the world to find God or whatever. Basically, in both the game and in the animated movie, he really went all out for the designs of the monsters, and they all look pretty cool and frightening. So, I will always give him credit for that. He's great at designing monsters.
I feel like he could design a Bible-accurate angel.
Oh, absolutely.
Heck.
I would. Hey, if they did that in Five Nights at Freddy's, I'd actually at least want to check that game out if they ever do that.
You know what my favorite piece of Five Nights at Freddy's media is? The Random Encounters musical. That
was pretty good. Yes,
amazing. And the fact that they got so many big big YouTubers who did a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's things to do it, like Markiplier and Matt Pat. It's just, and Matt Pat has some vocal cords. Let me tell you.
Oh, he's always had a great voice. Like
He's
I think Markiplier
nerd,
have.
so,
Oh, yeah. I think my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's anything is the music from Living Tombstone. They did some amazing songs for Five Nights at Freddy's, and by all means, I still have some of those songs stuck in my head, especially like the one that was based on Five Nights 2. It's been so long. That one always pops up, especially around Halloween time. It is such a good, eerie and sad song, and it's like it tells a story all on its own that I don't think the game's ever explored. But man, it's really good music, man.
Dang it.
But anyway, moving on from Five Nights at Freddy's, we get on to what I still think is like my most anticipated game, or independent anticipated indie game coming out, which is Death's Door. This fun little Zelda-esque dungeon crawling RPG game with a little crow as your main character, or is it a raven?
It's a bird.
I feel. Well, yeah, it's a black bird, but I just want to make sure which black bird it is. Is it a raven or is it a crow?
I think all black birds look the same.
All right, folks, that's it. We had a good run, but we're canceled. Okay, hope you all enjoyed the ride. It was fun while it lasted. But seriously though, this new trailer also looks really cute, and loving the designs for the levels themselves. I will personally say, I think I would have liked if the bird was holding this pink sword or knife or whatever in their beak. Like, it's fine with holding it in its wings, but it's more like I was kind of hoping it would be more anatomically like a bird, and it would have to like either use its talons or its beaks to hold things. And but still, that's just a minor thing. The world itself is a very stylized world, so it can get away with having a bird gripping onto things with its wings. So I'm not gonna hyper on it too much. It still looks good. I could not see the trailer for Kart Rider. I saw some. The only way I saw the King of Fighters, what's this, 15 trailer was from another YouTuber, Maximum Dudes. Like, he's a guy who usually does a lot of like fighting game breakdowns and like analyses and everything. So he covered the trailer for the new King of Fighters game on there, and the newest character that just been released is Dolores. Her design is awesome, and she's got some cool energy stuff going on with her and everything. I am familiar with King of Fighters. It's not one of my absolute favorite video game franchise. It's not one of my favorite fighting game franchises, but they've always had some cool designs. They've always, it's always been fun to play whenever I get a chance to play them. So I'm confident it'll be good. And unfortunately, everything else I could not see trailers of. So no thoughts on First Class Trouble or the Star Ocean stuff. Literally, the only Star Ocean game I ever played was back when I was dating this one girl, and she had a sister who had a boyfriend who was into the Star Ocean franchise. That's the only way I know anything about Star Ocean. It's sad. I mean, hey, it seemed interesting, but also the dialogue was not that great, or it was kind of putting me off. It was definitely, it felt like Final Fantasy meets Star Trek is what the game I experienced when I was watching it felt, and that seemed interesting. But unfortunately, it's some of the bad dialogue you do hear in some Final Fantasy games. So that did kind of hurt my my wants for kind of, my interest for playing the game itself. So maybe I could have seen this trailer and maybe it would have changed my mind. But unfortunately, I can't see the trailer. So yeah, sadly not. Doubt there'll ever be a Star Ocean Let's Play on the channel. Unless you really want to take a crack at it, Steven.
Really just depends on what content is in it. Because
it seemed like, very art.
If it's like more mature, then it might not be on this channel.
Right. I remember there was a female villain who was pregnant. She was trying to remake the universe to make the world better for her kid. But then an explosion happens and she dies. So I don't know if you want to open up that can of worms.
That's not really, what I mean by mature. But
I know, but I know some people are very sensitive when it comes to should you ever have a pregnant woman ever die on screen or for any reason?
Oh man. I mean, it's part of life. Pregnant people die all the time. It's sad, but
yeah,
it makes her sound like a compelling villain, actually.
It does, and I thought that was thankfully I was paying attention to the game during that part. And I thought, oh, this is kind of interesting, or I felt the story is rather unique. Unfortunately, the main character has that typical Japanese RPG protagonist, the main character energy and voice, and the level of melodrama. It was taking me out of it. I'm not even sure which one of the Star Ocean games it is. It may be the first one, and maybe a later one. I am not sure, but that's the only thing I remember from that. But anyway, I feel like it's time to move on to our next subject. Do you have any final thoughts on anything I've said, or
no?
Anything in general?
No thoughts. Head empty.
Right. So, well, then you might be part of the new development team for this new game studio.
Oh my.
Because, all right, did you want to cover this, or are you okay with me covering this?
Do you want to? I'll leave that up to you. I have read the article, so I'm not going into this completely blind.
Okay, well, can I have a minute to I need a minute to rest my voice, honestly, because I went on a long tangent, and I know the next subject after this is going to be another long tangent.
All right. So yeah, I'll take over this one. Please. All right. So some developers who left Blizzard have started this studio called Notorious Studios, and their name is exactly as it sounds, because according to this. Their staff page, they have 9 developers and 2 advisors, all of which are men, and 1 K9 chief moral officer named Ellie. It's an RPG studio, and so uh, Blizzard is facing gender discrimination and sexual harassment lawsuits all across the board. And
You don't say.
So the founder of Notorious Studios said, "What's important is starting a culture and having no tolerance for harassment and things like that, and being transparent and open." Which is, easy to do when you don't have women for men to harass. Because, you see, at Blizzard... Oh, man, the article's not loading. Here we go. At least 21% of the employees in 2017 were women. Meaning that, there are very clearly women developers, and there are talented ones. They just happen to hire, a whopping 0.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to believe was just a coincidence, but Blizzard has such a toxic atmosphere that it's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. To quote the second Harry Potter movie, their records speak against them. It's like their past and what they're doing right now, it's like you can't help but see the parallels. And under a normal circumstance, I would say, again, if this was a brand new company where I had no idea the history of any of these guys beforehand, and it just happened to be a mostly a all-male, developing team, I would have said, it's a little weird there aren't any female developers, but hey, maybe these guys are close friends. Maybe they know how to make games together. Let's see what they can do. But the fact that we know what they've done before, we know how they treated their female employees beforehand, so I don't think it's that crazy to make assumptions and to draw your own conclusions when they have a lot of dirt on their they have a lot of dirt on them from all their from what they've done not too long ago, honestly.
Yeah. It's not, unreasonable to assume that, it's not all innocent.
Also, there is, I don't know if they were trying to be cute with having, we got at least one female member on the staff. It's our little doggy here. You do realize there's a term for dogs that has been used to demonize and put down women. It's like, guys, how are you this clueless? How do you have no self-awareness at all when doing something like this? And one more thing about the dog. That poor dog I'm sure has nothing to do with this. I'm sure she's a wonderful, sweet, good girl. But it's funny how this team has made a dog one of their official staff members. And I remember not too long ago, back in 2017 and 2018, a certain other company called MoviePass.
Oh my god.
That was under some they were under a lot of they were under a lot of investigations. They were dealing with a lot of lawsuits and also a lot of money troubles. And they decide to help with their marketing, to help with their image. They're going to have Chloe, the director of marketing. Ain't this little girl, ain't she nice? There she is. She's going to help you out. If you're having questions about why you can't cancel your subscription to MoviePass, Chloe will help you. Bark, bark.
I forgot about MoviePass.
I wish I could, man, but oh wow, I read so many articles and watched so many videos about the fall of MoviePass and how it was slowly but surely destroying itself from within. Oh man, I would love to see a biopic about that. I think that would be a real juicy movie to watch. Oh man. I think that would be a bit more fun time in the theaters, or just a fun time just watching a movie than having a movie about the history of Activision and Blizzard. That one would be way more depressing. Yeah, certainly go into much darker places, I'll tell you that right now.
Speaking of going dark places, I think it's time we go to our last article, which I could not get the list. I could not get it to load on my phone. It refuses to. So,
yeah,
I will let you talk about what you think of the list, and then we'll list off some of our, top. I don't have many because I don't, play many games that have goth characters in them, but...
You're not a real gamer, Steven. You're a fake gamer boy.
How'd you know?
I caught you red-handed. I kid. Anyway, look, so this article from Kotaku that is clearly labeled opinion is simply an opinion by the author of this article. I won't say their name, but you can look it up. It's not that hard to find.
It's gonna be shared in the description.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So I'll call him Mr. Colbert. So Mr. Colbert voiced his opinion online about his tier list for some of the best goth characters in video game history, and call me a let's just say a thirsty bisexual male that has paid very close attention to various goth characters, male, female, and other genders throughout the history of games. So I was very opinionated when I first read this. Mm-hmm. And how things were structured and how this whole tier thing went. But unlike most people, when I see something I don't like on the internet, I did not immediately jump on my keyboard and say, "How dare you! What is this garbage? You shall burn in the fires of pandemonium!" Instead,
you got on your mic and complained about it on our channel.
Yeah. I'm definitely the more InfoWars guy, not the 4chan guy. Yeah. Okay, but seriously, I want to make very clear, I do not support either 4chan nor InfoWars. They are complete toxic garbage. I want no attachment to that name whatsoever. I want that on the record. Just make it clear. Hey, don't you dare add that to the wiki, okay? Don't you dare add that. Don't you dare.
To the Menu Heroes wiki.
Yeah. Don't you dare. I'm watching you, Steven. I know when you edit stuff. But yes, as I said, this tier list, like many other tier lists throughout the internet, are just mostly opinions. I'd say most people are not going around saying, "Here is the definitive list that is absolutely irrefutable, and I dare any of you peons to tell me otherwise." Like, this person is not doing that. In fact, I think this last paragraph of the list said quite beautifully, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if you disagree with this list, please do not, please bury him gently in the quote retweets and let him know which characters would add to the list and what have you. So, and yeah, to be fair, he did make an official tier maker list about some characters that I absolutely would have added, and I was almost, aghast. I was, downright, appalled. And some of these characters were not on his list. But here's the thing. Sometimes it helps to give yourself a day to, think things over, rest on your laurels, and realize what your priorities really are. And while, yes, I could say that certain characters, like, say, Slayer from Guilty Gear, I don't think really should be counted as a goth character. The only reason why he's even there is because he's a vampire. That's really it. He does not exude any goth or goth aesthetic energy whatsoever. But and also in this same tier list, he puts Thanatos from Hades on the B tier list and has a description: "The dude's the god of the personification of death. You can't get more goth than that." Yet he has not only other characters higher on the tier list than Thanatos, he has other characters from Hades higher than him. So clearly, you can go more goth than the God of Death. That one still bugs me. I'm still bitter about that one. Like, dude, did you even reread this list? Did you like? Like, what was your thought process writing that? Like, clearly, like, your own tier list proves you wrong, dude. I don't know, but yeah. Look, man, I think there are some good choices on this list, and I'd say like the top two right here, Bayonetta and Nyx, also from Hades. I think they are great choices for S tier goth characters.
Yeah, I can agree with
again,
Bayonetta.
Oh yeah, and while I have not yet to play Hades, like I've seen plenty of Let's Players go check out Hades, and just the art style alone is gorgeous. So many characters' designs are amazing. Just like yeah, again, it certainly helped that I had a day to rest and like think things over, and certainly some of my favorite characters, most of them being from Castlevania, that it does feel weird they weren't even mentioned. Not a single Castlevania character was mentioned on this list. And on the tier maker image right here, there's at least a Castlevania character on the A ranking, who is also one of my favorite characters, Alucard. It doesn't really the guy doesn't even mention the character at all, or any Castlevania character at all. So yeah, some of those things did irk me, but it's like at the end of the day, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal, you know? Like we all have opinions, we all have our own thoughts and certain things we like more than others, some we dislike more than others. So I want to just say to you, Mr. Colbert, you made a fine list. There are things in your list that are not right, but you made a fine list, and I will bury you in the gentlest way you can. I will make sure you are buried in satin, good sir, because hey, I think you deserve it. Yeah, you. I'd say Rouge the Bat. She is. I've always liked that character, but it is kind of weird. She has more human features than most of the other Sonic characters. There is something a little weird about that. Even though I think she's at least a B tier goth character, I can at least understand not having her super high on the list. Also, what was it? Oh crap. I'd say Eliza from the new Tekken's game. I agree, B tier. Pretty good design right here. I mean, even though it's just like red dress, but with and also devil horns and everything. It's fine.
It's fine.
Though it's fine. I do. If I must have one more umbrage, I gotta say, Tai Takemi from Persona 5. I do like her design, but there are more goth characters. There are bigger goths in Persona 5 than Tai Takemi. Let's be real. She exerts sexy doctor dominatrix vibes with a tinge of goth. I'd say the main character is more goth. I'd say Makoto in her biker outfit is more goth than Tai Takemi. And even then, again, it's not a bad character, not bad design. It's just weird that he chose, of all the big goths from Persona 5, he chose the little big goth, Tai Takemi. So, that's my last umbrage. Anyway, any thoughts on the list? Oh, yeah, you did say that you didn't get the list. Okay, so I think we should get into some of our personal favorite goth characters. You know what the few that we know about. And I actually sat down on my list, and actually I actually ran into more goth characters than I thought there would be, because I thought it'd be mostly just Castlevania characters, like of course Alucard, my boy. Uh, Vlad Dracula, his dad. Totally amazing. Um, but also Shanoa from the Game Boy Advance Castlevania game that like has some fans, but is not as well known. It's on the underrated. It's on the underrated side of the Castlevania games. She's got a pretty good goth design to her, and she's actually one of the few playable female characters in the series. So that's something there. Again, and speaking of which, like I was talking about Primal earlier, that criminally underrated game, Jen is a great main character. She's got somewhat of a goth vibe to her, but she's very sarcastic. She's got good wit to her, but she's still very upbeat. Like, you don't expect her to like. Unfortunately, there is that stereotype of like goths being, shallow. Like not shallow, but like very brooding and grim, or they have a very sick sense of humor or anything. Jen is reasonable. She's a bit more level-headed, but she's got wit to her. And please let somebody do a proper remake of that game, or just a good remastering, because Primal is a really good game. And and of course we got to talk about the Alice Madness games. Those those American McGee's Alice games, where they have Alice becoming more of being more murderous, and Wonderland is so twisted and dark. Look, it sounds brooding and it sounds like some edgelord stuff, but those games are surprisingly really good. And Alice has this. She does have a bit of a dark sense of humor to her, but it's done in a playful way that I think that still works. It's one of the few times where where I think it I think it has still aged fairly well. And of course, if we're going to talk about goth characters, we've got to talk about the Organization 13. The whole Organization 13, they are some of the biggest goths in all of JRPG history, man. They got the leather coats. They're talking about their meaning of existence and everything, and how how nothingness is eternal and all that. So, but if I have to narrow it down, I'll go with my favorite one, Axel. And he's like most people's favorite nobody. But hey, his design's great. Axel's awesome. And I do believe that's all I got. Again, I know you said you didn't know that many goth characters in video games, but is there any particular that just stands out, or you think deserves a shout out, or you like just in general?
So I think my favorite goth character isn't even a real character. It's a version of a character that fans have made. And that's the goth version of Isabelle from Animal Crossing.
That popped in my head for some reason. I had a feeling you're gonna say that. I don't know why, but it sounds like a you answer. I hope that doesn't come out as mean, but I had a feeling. I had a second presence that you would have that answer, and I find that really fun.
You find that
I
amusing?
love that answer, dude. I love that answer, dude. That's great. That's great.
I also like Marty from Sword and Shield.
Yeah, and actually, she was pretty high on a lot of people's lists of goth characters. Also, I know I said I'd give you a chance to talk, but Dante has always been my favorite goth boy. And and there's another There's a Soul Calibur character named Zue. Is spelled Zwei. I've never been sure how to say his name, but similar to Dante, he's got silver hair. You know, he's got a vest on where you can clearly see his abs 24/7, and his how he positions his legs and everything is it's pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty hot. Yeah, he's got this wolf ghost sickle thing. It's pretty much a stand. Zwei is pretty much a stand user in Soul Calibur, and it just there's so much about him I love so much, and I've only ever seen one list online to mention him at all, and I figured I'd also give him a shout out too. But please go ahead with any other goth characters you like.
I think that's gonna be about it. I don't know if Midna from Twilight Princess counts as goth.
I would say yes. I've seen other people put Midna at least at number 4 or 5 on their list of favorite goth characters.
Ooh,
so I think that would count.
And Hilda from A Link Between Worlds.
I will allow that one too. I think that yeah, man, that one's really great. I'm sure there's another female villain in the Zelda franchise I'm thinking about that also would be perfect on the goth list, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I mean, you played nearly all the games in a row. Is there a female villain that exudes goth energy that I'm forgetting?
The one from Oracle of Ages is the closest one I can really think of. Vera.
Okay, yeah. I think that one is coming to mind. Yeah, I've always loved her. I loved her design.
And,
shame I'd struggle with the name.
And my final one is when the Shadow Queen from A Thousand Year Door possesses Princess Peach.
That's it, folks. You ain't topping that. Best goth characters ever. We did it.
We did it, boys.
We made pack it up, go home.
You can see your family
take off your,
again.
Guy liner. Just wipe your makeup off or put it back on. I don't really care. We're done here. We're good. I figured that would be a good way to end our show.
Yeah, this is
get us in the Halloween spirit. Try and forget our woes and our troubles, and
we're like an abandoned Kmart here. Spirit Halloween.
Oh, you know what? I'll take it. Okay, Spirit Halloween energy. I'll take it.
And as always, until next time, stay cool.
When ghosts and goblins come by the door, ring the bell at your front door. You better not be stingy or your nightmares will come true.